It's time for Two Guys and a Goalie with Dustin Nielson, Matt Kassian, and the goalie, Joaquin Gage.
Episode 4, Two Guys and a Goalie, presented by Odd Shark. Dustin Nielson, Joaquin Gage, and Matt Kassian with you on the segment once again. And we've got lots to get today, including another upgrade to the studio as we have our mic flashes now in place. Logoed up and everything. That's fancy, right?
We still have spit socks, though.
Yeah, you're right. We don't have one yet. We're working on that.
Thing.
That's an episode 5 thing. We're going to try to get that done in episode 5. We've got lots to get to today. We're going to talk. We've obviously got the Auston Matthews thing we're going to do. Matt Tkachuk signs with the Calgary Flames. We've each brought some. Well, 2 of us have brought a top 10. Cass brought top 5, but it's entertaining top 5. So we'll get to that. We have your Popeyes poll question. We're going to play a new game called Keep It or Clip It for Sport Clips. Kris Abbott from Odd Shark, the presenting sponsor here of Two Guys and a Goalie. He will be by as well. And one of the things we're going to do with Kris Abbott today is Joaquin Gage trivia with the question asked by Joaquin Gage. How cool is that, Gager?
It's awesome. It's awesome. It's good. A lot of people don't know this about me. Like, you didn't even know.
So, yeah, I didn't even know. And Cass didn't know either, the fact that you're going to ask. So we realized when we had Kris Abbott on in episode 2 last Thursday that he was a fan of Joaquin Gage's when Gager played in the American Hockey League. So how much of a fan is he, right, Gager? We're gonna find out today.
Yeah.
So that'll be
He'll
good.
know.
Yeah.
He'll know. He's a good guy, good looking, knowledgeable. I love that.
You're really pumping his tires up nicely here.
Well, he pumped me up. I still beaming about last time he was on saying he remembered me.
That was unbelievable, to be honest with you. I do want to clear the air here briefly before we get started. After last episode, okay, you guys were leaving. You left before me. And then I walked out probably about 5 minutes later. Okay, and I'm walking to my car. And I know you parked right in front of me, Cass. And there was this little old couple who were moving a couch outside of their house. Did you guys see this? You didn't see them?
No.
Come on, are you?
If
no.
You don't think I would have went and helped?
Well, that's what I'm saying, because I walked up and I helped, and I was thinking, those bastards left, and they didn't help this little old couple get this couch out. So I wanted to make sure, like, did you?
No, I didn't see
Be
it.
honest with me, Gager. Did you see
I
us?
was parked down the street.
You were parked the other way.
Yeah.
Okay, you got.
Yeah.
Man, they must have moved quick then, because I didn't leave long after you, and these 2 people were just in trouble.
Yeah.
There's no way they were moving that couch.
No, I did not.
Okay, so you would have gone and helped them?
That would be something.
Okay.
That typically, I try to do that stuff.
Thanks, because I thought all of a sudden I was doing a podcast with a couple of assholes. You know, like
being a cable guy for that many years, the amount of times I would be there at the same time as movers, and the people would look at me like to help, and I could see it in their eyes, and I would look at them straight back, and I'd say, hey, I'm a shaker, not a mover. That was my go-to line.
You know what the problem was for me helping those people? And this isn't something I brag about by any stretch of the imagination, but they have this. It was a huge leather couch, and it wasn't that heavy, but it was big. They somehow got it out the door, and the old guy he was probably like 65, tall frame, so there was a little bit of liftability there. And then his little old lady wife, I mean, there's no way she could have helped. So then I get behind. I said, I'll take the lower end. And hey, I moved furniture for 4 months. I got this. And then I still struggled mightily with the couch, right? Like, did you guys never, well, yeah, you guys never, I was going to say, do you guys haul furniture for a living ever? I did, and it sucked, man.
Oh, I bet. I've seen them. Like dead of winter moving couches.
Yeah, well, you guys have moved. Try doing that every day for your life.
4 times in 2 months. That was my record.
You moved 4 times in 2 months?
2 months.
Okay, now was this when you were playing?
Yeah.
Did you have much to move then, or?
Moving the whole house.
Oh, Jesus. 4 times?
4 times.
You had help.
Well, I had some help. Not much.
Like the same help so they could at least get in a routine, or did you have to like bring in movers?
A little bit. No, a little bit of help. Because we went from like our house in Ottawa to like storage unit, moved everything in the storage unit because we didn't know where we were going to go.
And that's got to be tough.
Yeah.
Jeez.
You lived in a storage unit?
I lived in the storage unit. We put everything in the storage unit. Then we moved half of it because we thought we were where we were going to end up. And then we had to move it back to Ottawa. And then we had to move it from Ottawa to Edmonton.
Really?
Wow.
Yeah. So 4 times packing up the moving truck.
That is the worst. Have you moved since, or have you just kind of set up shop?
No. We moved once since.
Yeah.
But that one, it wasn't like the season was going on. And it was like, who do I ask to come help? Like I was back here, so I had buddies that I was able to call.
Oh, that's nice then, right?
Yeah. So there's a bunch of them.
Moving still sucks.
Amazing how those guys disappear when you ask, though. Like they know you're moving and they won't answer the phone.
You know what? I mean to go back to the whole, I am part of a church and we have people. So it's like
nice group.
I got a men's group, like a group of guys. We get together a couple times a month typically. And so it's pretty frequent. Like if anyone in that group has something come up, that's
help.
the first thing. It's like, hey guys, we're doing this. And sometimes we'll turn it into actually a little we'll make a day of it, like where we'll go and do something and then go do that. And whoever's asking to move has to get the pizza and whatever else we're having. But we try to.
Jeez.
So next time you move, find some religion.
I was gonna say,
go to church, get plugged into a group, find some community. They'll help you out.
That's a pretty good idea. I was just thinking how nice it would be to have friends. Like that'd be something good to build on. Okay. Anyway, so I just wanted to confirm because if one of you had seen it, I would have been pretty disappointed. But it was a nice couch. I almost was like, you got somebody coming to pick this up? Or like, can I swing back around and get it? Like, I'll borrow a truck. Because it was a nice couch.
Or were they just leaving it on the side of the road?
They said they were putting it on the sidewalk because somebody was coming to get it. And I don't know where you come out on, but sometimes I feel like the person who's coming to get it, like a couch, if it's for free or it's really cheap, they should be the ones that have to get it out of the house.
Well, but then do you really trust them to get it out of the house and not break everything on the way?
Yeah, no, that's a good point as well.
A lot of things happen outside this little brick. Like just coming in here, 2 ladies were coming out, and I walked past them, and I heard one of them go, "Oh, he's so cute," and I was like, "Yeah," but I turned around and one of them had a little baby. And I was like,
so close though, close. Yeah, it probably felt great. For
it did. It was like like half a second of.
No, that's
good. I actually started walking like George Jefferson a little bit.
All right, let's get into
like Auston Matthews.
The big news of the day. Auston Matthews. Cass, thoughts when when you first heard this? Like
when I first heard it, I started laughing.
Yeah.
Because I'm like at first you're kind of like, oh, what did he do? Like how bad was it? Is it something? I mean, obviously, if there's a report, it can be serious. I don't want to take away from whatever that experience that the security guard had. Like, if she was impacted by it, she was impacted by it, and it's not good. But just on the surface level, I looked at it, I'm like, there was no actual nudity. No one was physically hurt. I looked at it, I'm like, that's kind of funny. I mean, it's a guy doing something stupid, like, and I kind of laugh at it. I'm like, I don't think in any way this all of a sudden taints his character as an individual to a point where
like you don't think he was trying to threaten her.
No,
right? Like,
he was he probably had too much to drink and he was being an idiot. And was it stupid? Yes. Should he have done it? No. Do I look at that and I go, learning experience for him? Yes. Would this impact me one way or the other if I was like, oh, should this guy be the captain of the Maple Leafs? Absolutely not. But Toronto being Toronto, the media being the media, the world being the way that it is today, it will have that impact on it. He's going to probably carry this around for a while now. Mm-hmm. Should he have to? Absolutely not, but he's going to.
Gage, what do you think?
Yeah, I know. It's he made a poor choice for sure. I look at it from just a woman in her car, feeling threatened.
With like few guys outside. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, if she's like, you can. I don't know. I hope you can tell when you're going across the line and making them feel uncomfortable. And I can see how a bunch of guys may be banging on her window.
Trying to get in the door.
She could have felt threatened and stuff, and that's wrong. But chalk it up to a young guy.
Worse things could have happened and have happened in the past, right?
You're not pressing your junk up against the window.
No.
Here's the thing that I do not understand for the life of me. And Cass, I agree with you. This incident itself should not and probably will not determine if he's going to be the captain or not. But how do you know about this and not tell the organization? To me, and that's come out. Kyle Dubas said yesterday that he learned about this on Twitter. And I'm thinking to myself, if you're Auston Matthews, you can't be so dumb to think that this is never going to get out. As soon as it happens, give Dubas a call and say, hey, look, man, I screwed up big time. We're going to have a little bit of an issue here. I just wanted to get ahead of it so that you would know, as opposed to him having to find out on Twitter. To me, that, and maybe I'm looking at it too much, but for me, that's a character flaw. And I don't know if I want that guy as my captain. Like, a lot of people get drunk and do stupid things. I get that. But to not give them a heads up on this. It seems bizarre to me.
Yeah,
Does it not seem weird? Like,
it's a little
would you
weird.
not like? Would you guys have not told the team? Like,
think
it's
you'd want
coming
to.
out, right?
It's immature. It's
it
it's
could be a 22-year-old. Okay, but like, what about his parents or his agent or something? Somebody else had to know about this. Would they not have said?
Who did he tell?
Yeah, I mean, maybe he didn't tell anybody.
And
I
maybe
don't
he was
know.
hoping. Maybe he was hoping they'd be able to make it go away quietly, and he wouldn't have to deal with it because it wasn't. Again, it is
something that's going to be a fine, and
yeah. If the security guard like if she felt intimidated or scared or whatever she went from an emotional standpoint, the damage from that, maybe he thought, well, I didn't actually physically assault her. I didn't. There could have been any number of things that, as we've said, that have happened in the past that could be terrible. Maybe he thought, well, we can just try to make this go away quietly, and I won't have to tell anyone, and it won't be a deal. And that would be a maturity thing of just knowing that, listen, this is the modern world.
Yeah, I know.
It's not going to go away quietly.
I'm amazed it actually took this long to come out when you actually look at what the incident happened in May, and it was fine. I think they said he got the letter saying that he was actually, going to be getting the disorderly conduct charge in July, and it's now September, almost October.
I just had a thought. Maybe he was hoping he'd get named captain before
it
found
happened.
out.
Yeah, that's true.
Depending on the type of night, too. Maybe he forgot.
Yeah, that's true.
That's a good point. I watched TMZ actually had a video of the complainant at the police department talking about it, and she said that and one of his buddies was telling me because Matthews had left and gone to the house, and I guess when he got to the door, that's when he kind of dropped his pants and grabbed his ass. She said his buddy said, yeah, my buddy, Auston Matthews, has been going all the way down the strip doing this all night. I told him, you got to stop doing it. Like, so it was, it was obviously a thing. Yeah, I mean, we've all done stupid things. It's an unfortunate situation for everybody involved. But you know what? That brings us to, let's do our poll question. Hernan in the corner over there. Hernan Sal's with us. The Popeyes poll question today is, and then we'll have Kris Abbott from Oddshark here joining us shortly as well. Who should be the captain of the Leafs? John Tavares, Morgan Riley, or Auston Matthews? Gager, who would you?
I would go with Morgan Riley. Yeah. John Tavares on TV. Oh God, that's tough to watch.
Like this is a major gig, right? This is the biggest captaincy in the National Hockey League.
And Auston, he's young. He's like old Captain Underpants, you can call him. So he does have some sort of captaincy. And I like Morgan Riley. I don't know. I always think that a D-man should wear the C sometimes, just there.
Because you're a goalie.
Because I'm a goalie.
Yeah, it's nice to have that guy with you. Cass, what about you? Where'd you go?
I'm a Tavares. I mean, I know Tavares is not stellar from an interview with the media standpoint. So you're saying, well, he's in Toronto. He's got to be good in the interviews. But a captain isn't just the captain of the media and communicating with them. Like, that's a part of it. I get that. But to me, it's about the ability to be mature in the room, to lead with your play on ice, and to say what you need to in the room when you have to. And I think of those three, I think Tavares is that guy. So I'm going with John Tavares.
Yeah, you know what? You can make a case for both of them. I'm glad you did, because Riley's been through all of the shit that they've been through in Toronto, right? Like he's been there when they were not very good, before they got Marner, before they got Matthews. So he's been a big part of it, and he's a hell of a defenseman too. That I think it's crazy that somebody could fly under the radar in Toronto a little bit. But I think Riley kind of does. I think it's kind of lost in the, you know, everybody's loving Tavares and all the guys they've got there. But Riley's, and then on the other side with John Tavares, he's done this. I mean, he wore the C with the Islanders, did he not? I'm pretty sure he was the captain of the New York Islanders. So he's got the experience. He chose Toronto. He came there. He grew up. He had the pajamas, whatever you want to say. I would go with John Tavares. I think Tavares would be my pick, but I don't think you can go wrong with either one of them, actually. So. We'll get into that. We'll get into Tkachuk. Hernan, do we have Kris Abbott? Couple minutes. Okay, we're going to have Kris Abbott here in a couple minutes. Then let's quickly hit on Matt Tkachuk. 3 years. He gets more money than Point. We'll take home less because it's in Calgary as opposed to Tampa. But Cass basically kind of came in with what you would think after the Point number, or basically, right?
That's basically. It's pretty similar. Same thing. You get a shorter-term contract, and I'm sure for him hoping that turns into a astronomically sized number. Again, I look at that and I kind of go, guy's making $7 million a year for the next 3 years. He shouldn't be unhappy with that. I think it's a decent contract for him. He just has to find a way to produce for the next 3 seasons and hope it turns into a really big one.
One thing that I was curious about, and it's been mentioned a couple times, same with Point, same with Tkachuk, and Gage, I'll ask you this. because I think 3-year deal for these kids is great because it's $7 million, and then they can cash in, a huge deal if they want. Or they could take their qualifying offer and walk as a UFA at the end of that 4th year if they give them the qualifying offer. But some people have been like, yeah, well, now you really get a read to see who they are in the next 3 years. So like Braden Point, Matt Tkachuk, I mean, Besser hasn't been at that level, but like Rantanen and these guys. Do you know who they are yet, or could you see a step back? It's just, for me, it seems odd that somebody when they're 22 would take a step in the wrong direction.
I think with a bigger contract comes a little bit of added pressure. So,
okay, yeah, that's a good point.
They might try to be gripping the stick a little bit too hard, trying to maybe do more than sometimes less is more. I like the Tkachuk deal. I think that's a good number for him. He adds that assholeness in the contract,
and he's good.
And he's good. And Point I don't think he comes on the level that Tkachuk does during a game. So, but I don't. I think you're just going to see him get better and more disliked, especially up here.
Yeah, that's true.
But so few guys can do that. That's
There's not many anymore, right? Like,
not many. It's a skill. Like that's an asset class to have that as part of your game. Not very many people can do that and walk that line the way that he does. So if he can continue to do that, I mean, his number is going to be bigger than that and probably more valuable than that, because, as you said, he can drive guys nuts, and that is very difficult to do.
Yeah,
and on a consistent basis.
Well, yeah, and he can put up 80 points for you. Those guys like Brad Marchand. How important is Brad Marchand?
Well, yeah,
right. Like it's not
same thing.
It's not far off. And Tkachuk's had more offensive success earlier in his career than Marchand had. So. Definitely a good deal there for the Calgary Flames, and a pretty good deal for Tkachuk, looking at what deal he's probably going to end up getting next. All right, the presenting sponsor of Two Guys and a Goalie is Oddshark. Kris Abbott, huge Joaquin Gage fan, as we found out last Thursday. He's going to join us every Thursday here on Two Guys, and he's back once again. Kris, good afternoon. Thank you very much for rejoining the podcast.
Oh, thanks for having me back, fellas. Yeah, me and Joaquin are going to get a bottle of Screech, and we're just going to go down memory lane one of these days.
Two best buddies.
Oh, it's going to be great. Man. I can't wait.
I'm just happy somebody on the podcast right now likes you, Gager.
Well, there's someone out there.
A small percentage right now.
Yeah. We're gonna try something new today here on episode 4, and that is going to be Joaquin Gage trivia for Kris Abbott, with the question being asked by Joaquin Gage. Gager, the floor is yours.
Okay.
I'm going to be exposed.
I have 2 NHL records. Can you name one of them?
No chance.
Oh, my
No
God.
chance.
2 NHL. One would be the only goalie named Joaquin.
Well, that's probably...
you have 3 records.
Hold on, 3.
That's a tough question, Gager.
Well, the clock's run out. They're not. They're not.
You never even gave me a chance.
I was going to say.
You didn't give him enough time to Google it.
Give him an answer at least. Do you have any wild guesses, Kris?
I would say one of those records would be most times congratulating Bill Ranford while wearing a baseball cap.
That's a good one. That's a good one.
That is a good one. Okay.
4.
I can't take the suspense, dude. What are your NHL records?
They're not the best records, but I have the fastest. I gotta say that no one's ever gonna break these records. Okay,
unbreakable.
Yeah, I have fastest 2 goals against in a game, and try that. This is why it'll never get broken by the same guy. A guy scored 2 goals against me in 4 seconds.
Who was it? Was it against Winnipeg?
Yes. See?
Yes.
Yeah. Do you know the player? I do.
Was it Timu?
No.
Was it
Darren Quint? Was the
he was a top 10 pick.
Yeah, I know.
So that's not too bad.
Yeah. So
he was a defenseman.
So that's my NHL records, and I have an Oilers record. Again, not the best one to have, but it's longest time between wins. I think it's 5 years or something like that. But I played with them in '96 and then in 2001. So those are going to be tough to break. I think someone will score 39 and 50 before that.
Jeez Louise.
How many
15,
2-goal games does Darren Quint have? How many 2-goal games does Darren Quint have?
Well, one for sure.
Yeah. Somewhere Darren Quint is doing a podcast right now saying, I hold one NHL record.
Oh, that was, that game, it brings back some really bad memories, but the fact I got set up bad. Billy Ranford, maybe we'll get into this later, but he set me up bad for that game.
Okay.
That was a tough one.
Okay, well, we're going to come back around to that after we finish with our guest. I guess get started with Kris Abbott from Oddshark. Kris, one thing that I did want to ask about some of these, the odds for the futures and in the divisions and to win the cup and stuff. How quickly do those things change? Like, I'm looking at Winnipeg right now, and there's no Line A and there's no Connor. Like, how much of an impact, and the Buffalo situation, how much of an impact does that have on the Jets' odds to win it all? And would it be wise if you wanted to throw a few bucks on them now, knowing that the odds are only going to improve when those guys come back?
Interesting that you chose the Winnipeg Jets. So they're 22-1 right now. I'm looking at that. I would think that number would include Patrick Laine and Dustin Byfuglien. Like, I don't feel like the betting markets, especially for the NHL, just because, like, as much as we're ingrained in it, when it comes to overall betting markets, it's kind of a smaller type deal, of course, than the NFL and college football and stuff. So I don't think that transactions like that are making a whole lot of difference. I actually think there's a ton of value right now on the Winnipeg Jets not to make the playoffs at plus 155. That was a bet I gave out earlier this week. Okay. Guys, they're turning over their defense. I'm not sold on Connor Hellebuyck being a number one superstar goalie. I mean, he's good, but he's not great. And then you've got obviously the Line A situation. If Byfuglien doesn't come back, Kyle Connor is still unsigned, if I'm not mistaken. Yep. And listen, the Western Conference is a lot better. Like, look at teams that just missed out last year, like Arizona. Chicago's going to be better. Colorado's going to have a better regular season. There's only so many points to go around. I think they could be in tough in a division with Dallas, St. Louis. That's not a bad bet to me. I think they're on the downside of the hill than they are on the upside of it. I don't know how you guys feel about it.
What do you guys think about Winnipeg? Would you say maybe in the middle right now, or could they be on a little bit of a down? I mean, he's right. Their blue line has been completely torn apart.
It's decimated. And like that good-looking guy Kris said, I think I don't know about Hellebuyck without the demon that he has had in front of him for the past 3 years.
Because we haven't seen it. Like, we haven't seen it yet,
he's
right?
going to be a lot. They're going to have to rely on him a lot more than what they had to do in the past.
Cass, the Jets were going in one direction here for a long time.
They're going in the absolute other one direction.
Yeah, now they are, right? Like,
no, you look at the blue line, and it's like, yep, they still got great forwards, but especially if Byfuglien doesn't come back,
there's not much there at all.
You lost 3 really good defensemen in 1 year.
Nothing against Neil Pionk.
No,
but you've lost your entire right side. Like the entire right side is gone.
Byfuglien and Myers, and it's just like, I look at the Myers situation still, and I kind of go, what were they doing? How did they handle him, and how poorly it was? So
yeah, that was not good.
They're going in the other direction.
Just the pure mass that you lose with Myers and Byfuglien, like, there's just more room for pucks to get to the net. Like, it's physics, you know what I mean? And like, I look at a guy like Nikolai Ehlers, who had all the potential in the world, and he didn't have a very good year last year. And if they're going to be good, they need him to be good. So I don't know. To me, there's a lot more question marks around that team. And to answer your original question, I would not be betting on them to win the Stanley Cup when I can get the Flames at 20-1, or even the Devils 25-1. Like, I think the Devils have more upside than the Jets right now. So yeah, it'll be interesting.
Where would you that was a good pick on the Jets at plus 155 to not make the playoffs. What about a team that you like the odds to make the playoffs that you think would be a good bet, good wager right now?
Well, I think the Rangers have a lot of promise this year. I'm really interested to see, like, they're a team. Somebody said in our office they're facing an Eli Manning situation. Like, how do you tell Henrik Lundqvist he might not be the number one guy there anymore? Like, I don't know how much Rangers hockey you guys saw last year, but this Georgiev is legit. in the blue paint. Like, I really like him a lot. Buchnevich is a good forward. So they've got some pieces there. I think the Rangers could be a sneaky pick. I never really want to back the Coyotes. I think, they've still got a long way to go. But, the Rangers, the Blackhawks, these teams that are on the outside looking in, you always want to say Edmonton's going to find a way in. Montreal's 35-1. So those are all teams, 35-1 for the Stanley Cup, not to make the playoffs. But those are all teams that you could probably get a pretty good price on to make the playoffs. Like, I look at some other teams, like where's Pittsburgh at right now? Are they on a downslide? Like, Matt Murray hasn't been the same since the concussion problems. God bless Casey DeSmith, but he's not going to carry them into the playoffs. Geno Malkin at times last year looked like he did not want to be there anymore. So, Pittsburgh is a team that I look at that could slide out of playoff contention this year, as crazy as that is to say. The Islanders, do they replicate what they had last year? So, yeah, I look at the Rangers, the Devils, the Blackhawks. Those are teams that I think we should watch out for.
Excellent, Kris. As always, buddy, appreciate the insight. Thanks for popping by today.
Awesome, guys. Love what you're doing. Keep it up.
There you go. That's Kris Abbott from Oddshark. Check him out, oddshark.com, presenting sponsor of Two Guys and a Goalie. I do want to get back to that Bill Ranford story for just a second. But before that, Pittsburgh. I thought he had a good... What do you think of Pittsburgh? Like, Pittsburgh always seems to be transitioning in some way, but also always, manages to be in the mix. Do you think that's still the case with them? Like, you still got Crosby and Malkin. Like... Oh,
yeah. When you have Sid in the room, I think he's just they're going to be a playoff team. I don't think there's any, with Letang, Crosby, Malkin, they're going to be in the playoffs. Will they be as good as they have been in years past? I don't think so. I don't think they'll get past one or two rounds, but a regular season team, they're solid.
When you've got those two guys, Cass, you still have to keep building a team around them all the time, right? Because you can always take a run.
You gotta have the team around them to do it. I mean, just look at Edmonton.
Yeah, that's true.
Draisaitl, McDavid. Did they have the team around them? Nope. Did they make the playoffs? Nope. And especially if we're talking about, you have those two guys, and then your goaltending situation, if Murray doesn't pan out or continues to struggle post concussions, are they making the playoffs if he struggles? I don't think so. Like, they have a little bit more star power on the defensive side with Letang kicking around still. Like, he's a heck of a player, so I think that helps them significantly. But I think they're a fringe team now to me. Like, they're like a team where if they made the playoffs, I wouldn't be surprised. But if they didn't make the playoffs, I wouldn't be like, well, this is completely shocking and groundbreaking.
Yeah, which is huge considering it's Crosby and Malkin, right? Like, and they could be in that situation right now. All right, we're gonna play a game a little bit later on called Keep It or Clip It for Sport Clips. We'll get into that, but Gager, before we get into our top 10s, and my top 10, your top 10, and old Slacker down there has a top 5 for us. So you have a record. You allowed 2 goals in 4 seconds. I've got so many questions about this. One being, how were the goals scored? Like, was the second one hammered off the boards, or did it just go straight in on you? Or
one was a 5-on-3, and I was interfered with by.
Oh, okay.
By
there we go.
Dallas Drake. I think he gave me the chicken wing. Came across, and then face off at center ice, right back to Quint, because he scored. Right back to Quint, and he came and dumped it in. And it was right on the glass, and I came out to grab it and hit the partition and went in the net. So I was behind the net.
So he had a hot hand then.
Yeah, he was smoking hot. Yeah. Gosh, the what was it called? The old Winnipeg Arena. Was it Memorial Arena or something? It was rocking. Wow, was it loud when he scored that second one? Whoa, I've never been in a louder rink.
Okay, now why did Billy Ranford sue you?
Oh, God. Well, Billy was. Yeah, he's a great guy. Okay, he was really good to me. But Billy was very meticulous in what his pregame rituals. So basically, after pregame skate, back to the room, he'd be out, closed, windows drawn, fast asleep. I would have to sneak in and kind of crawl in there and just kind of lay there. And then he would get up, 4 o'clock, boom, drapes open, Oprah on, and kind of getting ready.
4 in the morning.
No, this is before the game.
Oh, sorry, I thought
4
it was
in the morning.
Sorry, I was just like, what are you doing?
Yeah, no.
Okay, so after nap. Okay.
And then, so what would happen is he'd throw on Oprah, and he'd watch Oprah, and then we'd kind of go to the game. But this morning in Winnipeg, the Black Aces and I were on the ice an extra 45 minutes, like working on stuff. And I was just getting peppered. Got to the pregame meal and everything was gone. They were already putting stuff away. And so I just...
That's happened to me before. That was the worst, is like when you're scratched and like you have to put in the extra work and you go and the food's gone and you're just like, what?
No. Yeah.
Not only did I just get bag skated, but no food.
Yeah.
The worst.
They wouldn't leave some out for you guys?
No, we were that late.
You're that
late.
Yeah.
Oh,
They think no one else is coming here.
That sucks.
Yeah, really sucks. So I get up there and I wake. I'm just exhausted. I think I just laid down on the bed because I was so tired. And I woke up to Billy sitting on the edge of the bed staring at me. Kind of weird, you know? And he was like doing ankle twists and stuff, his knee or something. And he was just looking at me and he was like, ooh. He was giving me the Peter Griffin, like,
yeah.
And so I got to the rink and Billy went right into the training room, which he never does. He's like, it's completely different kind of ritual before the game. I go, what's Billy doing? And then Ron Lowe came by me and like 5 minutes before warm-up he said, expletive, you're in tonight.
Yeah.
Or something like, and I was like, oh my God. So I went in, you know, and I stopped Timu on a breakaway. Like in the first few minutes.
Nice.
And so I
and
was
then
feeling...
Darren Quint scored 2 on you.
Well,
in 4 seconds.
The floodgates just opened the skyward. It just started pouring. And I remember because Keith Tkachuk... And it was like... I think the score was like 5-1 at that time. It was in the second period. And he skates by me. He goes, come on, let me score. And I'm like... It's 5-1. You don't need any more goals. Yeah. Like, come on, throw me a bone here.
That's not very nice. Oh,
I got sent to the minors 2 days later.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, well, hey, good run.
Yeah.
It's a good run. So you're blaming Billy Ranford for you being sent down to the minors.
Well, he could have told me, like, when he woke up and did the Peter Griffin thing, he could have said, hey, Gager, I don't think I can go.
See that and think, like, maybe.
Yeah, that's a good point.
No, I didn't think.
I think it's your fault.
Well, a little bit of my fault. I could have asked. I go, Billy, what's up? Like, I could have said something, I guess.
I blame all of this on no meal.
Well, yeah, I didn't have my proper meal.
Dusty, you don't understand. It was the worst.
Yeah,
it's like you're already like upset that you're not playing. You're gonna be sitting in the press box, and it's like all you think about is like, at least maybe I'll get a cookie. Like I'll eat my food and I'll have a cookie, and like I have something like to look forward to redeem the rest of my afternoon. And nothing.
See, the closest comparison I think I would have would be when you go down for a continental breakfast that you thought was open till 11 and it closed at 10:30.
And there's nothing left.
There's nothing left. Like that's the closest for me,
like,
right?
Oh,
like,
what do I do now?
You don't even know, Dusty. Yeah. Those pregame meals, they were awesome. They had everything on there: steak, chicken, different things.
Like every time, or just once in a while?
All the time. Just
pretty
5-star.
good selection.
Really?
It was awesome.
Wow, that's
except for Tom Pody.
You learn what what hotels and what road cities have the best pregame, because they're all different. Like some of them are average, some of them are pretty good.
So you can get excited.
Yeah, like Boston, for example, they'd always have clam chowder.
Yeah,
it's Boston, right? So it's like you always had clam chowder there, and some. Maybe we can talk. That's a topic for another day. Is the best.
I was going to say
hotels.
we can do a whole show on the food on the road.
You'd have the jerks too, because I remember Brian Marchment. He'd always get back there first. He was always first on, and he'd go hide, like he'd go eat. And then he would sit under the table and shoe check everybody. So he'd sit down there with like Alfredo sauce, and everyone's going through the line, and he would just be pouring like Alfredo sauce on guys' shoes. So everyone would get back to the table, and then everyone would be sitting there, and someone would be like clink, 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 hit the glass, and then you're just like, fuck. And you look down, and you got Alfredo shoes.
Well, I mean, again, another topic for another day. I mean, that was in junior. Like, you'd have guys, like, if you're out, everyone out at a team meal, they would start, like, all the way down at one far end, and they would crawl underneath the table all the way down to guy at the other end and get. And it's like, and the rule was, like, if you caught a guy doing that, you could dump your glass of water on him.
Oh, really?
Like, if you bust a guy doing that, you could dump water, like, just pour, or, like, if you had, like, a pitcher of water, you could dump the whole pitcher of water on him.
So that's the risk he's taking.
Oh yeah, but and then you're kind of always watching because you see like guys like just like slide like just the best to be quietly sliding their chair back to give the guy room so that he can get underneath.
The best is the guy you get over and over and over again, and
same guy every single time.
Eating like so far from the table, so
nobody sees his shoes. I don't even know if anyone does that anymore. Probably not. They'd probably be like mean. They'd be hazing.
No.
Hazing.
Yeah, you can't do that anymore.
Can't do that.
Well, you know what you guys were doing? You were bullying other people. That's what that was. That's tough. All right, let's. I'm going to do my top 10 first because mine's like way more boring than what you guys are bringing to the table.
I got to pull mine out here.
Everybody, like NHL.com did it, TSN did it. Everybody's doing their top 50 players in the National Hockey League right now. We wanted to do a little bit differently. So I've got the top 10 players that I would pay to see play this upcoming season. And side note, I don't pay to see anybody play because I have a media pass in Edmonton and I go to all the games for free. But okay, so number 10. Feel free to call me out on these if you want. Like this one, I don't know how this is going to go over. Number 10, Rasmus Dahlin, defenseman, Buffalo Sabres. That dude, watched him a couple times last year on TV. I want to go see that kid play in person. He's an absolute stud. Number 9, still PK Subban for me. PK Subban's fun to watch play hockey. Number 8, I'm kind of cheating here. I'm putting 2 guys in this spot. Hughes and Kakko, first and second overall picks this year. I want to see those guys play in person. You see what Hughes has done in the preseason?
Yeah.
He's absolutely lighting things on fire. Number 7, I've got Alexander Barkov, who's a freak. See Barkov in shootouts and on breakaways and stuff going between the legs. That guy's unbelievable. 6, Kucherov. 5, Sidney Crosby. 4, probably too high on this list, but for everybody at Canucks Army, you'll like it. Elias Patterson. He's a little freak. Some of the plays he made last year, you haven't seen made in the National Hockey League in a long time. So I've got him at 4, McKinnon at 3, Connor McDavid at 2, and I still would pay the most money to watch Alexander Ovechkin play hockey. So I've got Alexander Ovechkin at number 1. Is that crazy with Ovechkin?
I wouldn't have him number 1.
You wouldn't have him number 1?
I wouldn't have. I'd
is that
change
because he's too old now? Like he's not as exciting as he used to be. But I still watch him, and
no, he's still fun to watch.
He's amazing.
I wouldn't have. He would be in my top 10. Oh, not number 1.
You wouldn't have him number 1?
Not number 1. No, Homer Edmonton. McDavid to me still is. Just,
I felt dirty not putting McDavid at number 1.
We're spoiled though.
I know we watched.
He's
he to me is just so off the chart that he's number 1.
It's almost like a fantasy world sometimes.
Oh,
like
yeah.
he makes the National Hockey League look kind of easy for himself, which is nuts.
To be honest, I think Pedersen should be higher.
You would have him higher.
I'd have him. What do you have him? 6?
I have him 4.
Oh, you had him 4. Okay, sorry. For some reason, I think it's 6. No, 4 I think is respectable. He from a skill play,
from an entertainment level.
Like what is this guy gonna do? He's high up there for me. Like Patty Kane, I'd probably have on there. I would have him on the list.
Considered Kane. Yeah, I was thinking. Kane.
Like I would have him before Hughes and Kakko. Like those guys will be fun, but
I think I want to see them just to see them.
But they're not at the point for me where it's must see. It's like if I got a chance to watch them, great. If I had to pick between watching them and watching Patty Kane play, probably watch Patrick Kane.
I almost wanted to put Matt Barzal in there too, because Barzal, when he's on, he can scoot around. He's pretty entertaining as well. All right, so there's my top 10 players I'd pay money to see this year. Who wants to go next?
Why don't you go next?
Yeah, Mr. Only bringing 5.
Rock, paper, scissors.
Rock, paper, scissors.
Like 1, 2, 3, shoot, or 1, 2. Like
wait,
1, 2, 3, shoot. Okay.
Is it a best of 3?
1, 2, 3.
You go first.
Okay. Gager loses. Cass chooses for Gager to go first.
All right.
What are you doing, Gager? What's your top 10?
I'm going top 10 cable guy requirements for customers. As everyone knows, I've been a cable guy for 11 years. I actually got to say, with New Jersey, you're getting a lot of bang for your buck because you're getting Hughes, Hall, and Subban.
Yeah, that's
and that Gusev guy from Russia, just to see what he is. I don't know what he is yet.
I wouldn't mind watching the Devils, actually.
But their goalie's a ginger, and that probably takes 2 points away.
Well, let's go. I got these in different order, but we'll go number 1. Just for the customers.
You're not going to go from 10 to 1?
Well, it is, but I wrote them down.
All right, okay, yeah.
Is be home. Like there's a 2-hour window there. Just be home. Don't say you'll be home at a certain time. Like just be home.
Did that happen a lot to you? Because it always seems the other way around.
No. Yeah, that's.
Is that why you try
That's what you people say.
No, but is that why?
What do you mean by you people?
Don't paint us with that brush, Gager. Is that why you try to stick it to the normal folk by not showing up on time sometimes? Like that's what it feels like. It's like a spite thing.
We try to get there and get things done,
yeah.
right? Like that's what we want to do. We want to get there as early as possible and get our work done and make sure you have a pleasant experience.
All right, number 2.
All right, number 2 is don't answer the door with that cable guy. You're not original. Okay, we've heard it 1,000 times before. It's not funny anymore.
People did that?
Oh my God, it's awful.
I cannot believe
yeah.
that.
And then you're like, yeah, cable guy. Good one.
Every time,
superhighway.
every time you introduce Gager, that's what you have to do now in this show.
Okay.
Every time we talk to you, cable guy.
Number 3. Don't offer beer and weed. It's 8:30 in the morning. Okay, we can't be doing that. That's just ridiculous.
Would there be people? Did you go to houses where people were hammered? Like,
just crushed. There's
because they
so
didn't
many
have TV
stories
to watch yet, probably.
No, it was video games or something.
Yeah.
But yeah, they were just. I remember these one guys with Slurpees and Tanqueray and bongs, but that's for another day. Number 4, put some clothes on. You know, like I'd rather see you in clothes than your tighty whities and stuff. Or it's at least put a shirt on. Number 5. Don't make excuses for your place being a mess because you just moved in. Everyone knows you've been there for 8 months. Okay, unpack a few boxes. It's not that hard. Number 6, we're not babysitters. Okay, we don't take care of your kids. So when you leave your kid sitting there, I'm not gonna look after him. I'm not gonna make sure like how many times I've saved a kid from like swallowing stuff or like using my tools and taking them to his room. It's awful. Number 7, don't book the cable guy and the movers at the same time. Ooh. That's tough. And then you're asking questions and you don't know. It's just a bad situation and nothing gets put where you want it to. Don't ask if I mind if you smoke. Of course I mind. Okay, I don't know why you're smoking in your house anyway. It's disgusting. But I can't. That's a question I can't say no to. Right? Just book your appointments in the early morning. You're going to get a fresh cable guy instead of a cable guy at the end of the day.
Yeah.
And because at the end of the day, we just want to go home. Okay, so you're not getting the best service after 5 o'clock. And number 10, just empty all the litter boxes. The places that we have to go in the house, if you have a cat, your litter box is always there. And just because the one is full, don't just buy another one. Like, just empty the one you have. You don't need 2 full litter boxes. And that's the top 10.
That's a pretty good list. I feel like I learned a lot.
I learned. So people would offer you a joint.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, you want to hit this man?
Yeah.
Well, they're sitting there in just their underwear.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah.
How would they feel if you showed up just in your underwear?
Well,
I mean, how many times did that happen? A handful?
No. We'll get into a couple stories, but yeah, no, that was gross. It's really bad.
That is gross.
Yeah.
All right, Cass, what do you got? You're bringing up. You only had 5.
I only had 5. I wanted to go 5. I wanted to make it a quality 5. So we have the top 5 players that I would want to see score a goal in Toronto, and to drop trowel and squeeze their buttocks as the goal celebration for said goalie score in Toronto.
In front of everybody.
In front of everybody.
Okay. This is
so
going to be
top
good.
5. So number 5, Elias Patterson.
Oh, that's one of my guys.
That's one of your guys. Yeah, he's making top 10s everywhere, or top 5s. And the reason being is he seems like he has a little bit of a subdued personality, but he's so silky smooth at everything that he does on the ice. So I'm like, just from a technical standpoint, it's like I'd be interested to see how he would execute the celebration.
And that skinny little ass.
Yeah, he's just like a cute little guy. Yeah. So it's just like, I want to see that.
I'm on board with that one.
Number 5. Number 4, Brad Marchand. Just because you have to. They hate him in Toronto, so it would be seeing everyone's anger at the situation. I don't know if he ever would do it because he's gotten to so much trouble for licking people.
He's wearing T-bar for sure, huh?
Oh yeah. So you see what he's wearing. So I think he'd be really funny to see doing that, just based on the you could have Tkachuk in there too, but I think Marchand would be more entertaining just based on the nature of his relationship with Toronto.
I'm partially surprised it hasn't happened yet. You know, like some of the battles that he's had in his career, if anybody was going to do it, that's probably the most logical guy.
Oh, yeah. That's why he's number 4.
Yeah, even just fake the moon, right?
Yeah.
Like
number 3, if he doesnn't get the captaincy, would be Auston Matthews.
Why not? You're right. Own it.
Yeah, absolutely. Own it. Probably have to wait till everything settles, but then it would be pretty funny to see that happen. So he'd be number 3. Number 2 would be Connor McDavid. And the reason that I have Connor McDavid number 2 is because then we can actually really have a debate about who did it the best. Who's the better player, Matthews or McDavid?
Because that doesn't happen enough already, right?
That doesn't happen enough already.
All right. And number
clearly,
one.
everyone outside of Toronto will most definitely be like Connor McDavid did it better. Everyone in Toronto, I'm certain, will be like, well, no, it's Auston Matthews is the best.
Hey, Matthews has more experience with it.
He's done it more often. Yeah. And number one would be our buddy Phil Kessel. Just to see what he's wearing underneath those pants.
Oh man. What would he
There's skid marks for sure. Hey,
I didn't say it. You said it.
He's locked up all 4 on that one.
Yeah, you know what? You're probably right. You're probably right. Oh God, I would see, and I imagine Phil Kessel wearing, even under his gear, full like boxer briefs, like not tighty whities, not sacks, like full 3-pack from Walmart with like the lines on them. Like I that's the sense I would get, because just imagine going to Phil Kessel's house to do his cable. And he opens up the door and he's got that flow, just that terrible look up top. And he's wearing like a sleeveless t-shirt and he's in boxer briefs.
Yeah.
Like, is that really unthinkable? I don't think that's unthinkable.
No, boxer briefs or boxers? Because they're different.
Well, like the boxers.
Boxers, yeah. Because boxer briefs are a little bit like more the tight. You know, we're talking
we're
the
talking
full
boxers,
shorts.
like full on hang down. Like I must have wore those for like the majority of my teenage years. And then when I finally like got out on my own, I was like, oh, there's other types of underwear you can wear, not just the ones your mom buys for you.
You know what? My mom, one time, she was at the store, and it must have been a sale. She bought like me and my brothers, because I got only brothers. She bought us like banana hammocks. Like I don't
by
know
accident.
I don't know if she realized like that's what they were, but they were like super high cut. They're basically banana hammocks. And I remember being like, Mom, it was probably like in junior high or high school, being like, we're not going to wear these. Even at that age, I'm like, I understand that this is just not how I want to live my life.
So did one of your brothers wear them all, or like were all of you just?
I don't. Yeah. Hey man, you wearing those banana hammocks?
I don't know. I didn't have a brother growing up. I had 2 sisters, so it was different.
I don't understand why those things are pre-stretched out when you buy them. You know, it's like
you want to work it in a bit. Is that what you said?
Yeah, I want them to custom fit. I don't need it all stretched out already.
All right, let's play a new game here. We'll see how it goes. It's for Sport Clips. Haircuts with Hearts. This is something that's going on actually from Sunday, September 29th to Saturday, October 5th. So it starts this weekend, runs through the week there. We're going to be working with Canadian Blood Services, and they're going to be donating $5 from every paid MVP haircut, which is the signature haircut, which is the one where they cover your face in the hot towel and everything. So they're going to be donating that to charity for Canadian Blood Services. So if you are here in Edmonton and you're listening, make sure you go check it out. It would definitely be worth it. And it's for a good cause, and you really enjoy the haircut. So that kind of killing 2 birds with 1 stone there. Okay, so the game is keep it or clip it. I'm going to give you a statement about a Canadian team, and then if you agree with it, you keep it. If you don't agree with it, you clip it, and it's for Sport Clips. Okay, so number 1. All right, and I'm not going to answer. This is just for you. I'll be the host. Welcome to Keep It or Clip It from Sport Clips. Elias Patterson will finish top 10 in NHL scoring. Keep it or clip it?
Keep it. That's a yes, right?
Yeah, that's a yes. Yeah, that's right.
Top 10.
That's pretty high.
That's pretty high. I'm going to say clip it.
Oh. All right. Okay, question number 2. This time next year, Patrik Laine is no longer a Winnipeg Jet. Keep it or clip it?
Keep it.
Keep it.
Uh-oh. On his way up. But don't you get that sense that this is kind of the beginning of the end? It's the end could be 18 months away, but it seems like the process has started.
He needs to go to like Pennsylvania, closer to Amish country, I think, for him to be happy.
Yeah, okay. That would make sense. All right. Here we go. Keep it or clip it. I'd rather have Mitch Marner than Auston Matthews.
Okay, is this pre-Captain Underpants or post?
This is as of today.
Okay, so
post underwear situation.
Clip it.
You'd rather have Matthews?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'd clip it. I'd rather have Matthews.
You'd rather have Matthews.
Yeah.
Now, like, Marner is out scored him 2 years in a row, points wise. So you just like the goal scoring ability? Is that like what you're going with the center who can score goals?
Overall, as a player, I think a little more complete. So if I'm building a team, I would rather have it be around him than Marner.
But Marner's still really good.
Marner is that's really not saying he's not really good.
Yeah, that's not easy.
No, that's not an easy one. I thought maybe one of you guys would go with Marner. All right. Okay, here's one. Goaltending will be the reason the Oilers don't make the playoffs. Keep it or clip it. Gager?
Whoa.
Dun, 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 dun.
Keep it.
Keep it. So you think that could end up being the reason?
Yeah.
You don't think there's other reasons too, but you think that could be the big one?
That could be, yeah.
Cass, what do you got?
You clip that bad boy. It could be a factor. If they do not, it is going to be from the defensive core, not from the goaltending.
Okay. No, that's a fair answer as well. Now, just quickly on the Oilers, I wanted to hit on this, and we might as well do it now because we're talking about the Oilers right now. They sent down Evan Bouchard. They did it on, Tuesday after a preseason game. Not with a big group of guys, just Starrett and Bouchard sent on down. And to me, having been in Edmonton covering this team for 10 years, that's a significant change in culture and philosophy. And like the first sign that I've seen Ken Holland wants to do this right. And there's nobody questioning it. Like it's the right call, right? Like that's how this kid should be. And that's how some of the other kids here should have been handled.
Oh, absolutely. But Holland did that for years with Grand Rapids and Detroit.
Thing.
I wasn't surprised by it. I thought maybe another exhibition game, but I'm sure the conversations between himself and Tippett were, let's get him playing. He's not going to be playing here. We don't want him to start the year here. We want him to play a ton of minutes in every single situation down in the minor. So
that's one of the things Holland said a couple weeks ago at a media tournament here in Edmonton, Gager, when he was like, I'd rather call a guy up than have to send him down. And for a young kid who's just breaking in, it's going to be his first year pro. I mean, you probably understand the situation you're in, but it still can't feel good to be sent down, late October and be like, okay, well, I'm not good enough yet. I'll have to go down here and work on it, as opposed to get down there, know where your targets are set and go from there.
Yeah, I like the move to send him down early. Just get acclimatized to. It's a big jump from playing junior to pro. You're living with a family now. You kind of have to learn how to do it on your own a little bit. You have to make your own meals, make sure there's a lot more responsibility, and just learning to become a pro. I think you don't need him up here yet. I don't think. And Ethan Bear, he's played 2 years. He's a bit more of a professional, and he's getting his shot right now, which is nice. Oilers are in a position, at least on D, where they don't have to have him up here. That's we haven't been able to say that about top prospects in a while.
Yeah, that's kind of nice to say, actually. All right, let's continue with Keep It or Clip It for Sport Clips. Mark Giordano will be a Norris finalist again this year.
Clip it.
Yeah, I'd clip it. I hope I clip it. Jeez, I hope he's not as good as he was.
Remarkable last year doing what he did, but I don't think we're being unfair not expecting him to do that again.
How old is he now? 38?
He's going to be 36, I think, this year.
He probably is going to have a really good year because they're a really good team.
He's still an incredible defenseman too.
But I don't think he gets that Norris level.
All right, here's another one. This is probably crazy, but I like this kid, so I wanted to. Thomas Chabot will lead the Senators in scoring. Keep it or clip it?
Clip it.
You know what?
Do it.
The first thought, the initial gut reaction is, well, I mean, he's a defenseman. It's not going to happen. Clip it. But then I sit here and I'm like,
why not? Right? This kid is unreal.
I'm gonna. You know what I'm going to say?
Keep it.
I'm going to say clip it.
Oh.
He could be close. It could be something, but for as much as I want to say keep it, I think you got to clip it. Well, it's like if you go into Sport Clips and you're getting a haircut and you have like a rat tail.
Yeah.
Where you're like, kind of cool, maybe I should keep it, but probably still just clip it.
Actually, nobody's ever said that.
Chris Simon back in the day.
Yeah. Okay.
I had one of those.
You had a rat tail?
Yeah.
How could
you? You had hair?
Oh,
yeah. Your hair, wasn't your hair curly? Like you had curly.
You can braid I had a braided little
rat tail?
Oh, yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Are you serious?
Grade 6. French.
Okay, so you were
I went to French immersion, though.
So can you speak French?
I can understand it. But I do kiss that way.
You're a goof. All right. Oh, by the way, I did Google you with blonde hair in Sweden.
Yeah?
Yeah, that's a bad look.
Oh, yeah.
That's a bad look. We're going to have to put that up on the stream next time because it's...
I got some 8x10s I can bring in and sign.
No, that's okay.
Hey, guys.
He's got him in the car.
Dusty, quickly. Chris Abbott did some research.
Okay.
Darren Quint had 4 multi-goal games
What?
in 470 career NHL games. He says he's more concerned with the coach hanging you out there for all 9 that night.
Wait a second. You didn't tell us you let in 9 goals that night, dude.
Oh, I said it was 6-0 at the second. What do you think happened? I didn't lock things down.
Well, and Billy Ranford couldn't come in, right?
Yeah,
So-
he was Peter Griffin it on the side. I'm surprised Ronnie Lowe didn't put the gear on.
I can't believe that Darren Quint had 4 multi-goal games.
Yeah, he was special.
I had a multi-goal game. It's possible.
You had a multi-goal game?
Yeah, first 2 goals, and then I hit a post in the third.
Oh,
Hockey Night in Canada on Carey Price.
shut up.
Yeah.
What?
I hit a post. I don't know what I would have done. That was the game. If you remember,
Those are your first 2 goals
first
ever?
2 goals, and then I hit a post in the
My
third.
God, man.
We would have seen your underpants.
You would have seen where I would have just straight. Well, I mean, I probably would have been. You know, I so blacked out because I don't even know what happened. Like for that to happen, I probably would have just like taken all my equipment off on the ice.
Yeah. You got the hat
Just
trick?
stood there, been
Full
like, I don't know
slap shot.
where I am.
Were they good goals, or were you banging them in around the crease? Like what?
They were good. One.
You snipe one?
No, they weren't. They weren't snipes. They were, I mean, my type of goals. So
Yeah.
going like one was off a face-off play. I can't remember who the defenseman was in Montreal, but high stick Price in the face.
Yeah.
So Price was kind of like he got.
Oh, perfect.
He got hit, like so he was out of position because
Yeah.
he got high sticked. So there was a whole net there, and then the second one was on like a scramble in front of the net. Scramble in front of the net, found the puck and put it in.
Nice.
And that was a game. If you remember, Devin Setaguchi blowing a tire. In the shootout, because what was like to come back, like scored a couple of big goals, got us back
Right
in the
at the
game, we
hash marks?
tied it, and then like going in the shootout, and he falls like just out of nowhere.
Oh,
It
no.
was that game.
Oh,
Really?
Yeah.
So did they put you in the shootout?
I
mean, if a guy's on a heater, right? Like,
Yosi told me, he looked at me after the game because we ended up losing.
Yeah.
And he looked at me, he was like, "You were next." I don't think I was, but
that's nice of him.
it was nice of him to say that. Like, just
Yeah.
tell me that, even if it's a lie. Like, I want to believe it so bad that I believed it. So.
All right, we've got one more here for Keep It or Clip It. Final one, we'll go to Montreal. Carey Price will be a finalist for the Vezina. Keep it or clip it.
Clip it. His best days are behind him.
You don't think he's got like that one sort of,
I'm
hey,
gonna
I'm
go-
still
Not
here?
with that team. He needs better.
I'm gonna go. Yeah, he needs. I'm gonna go clip it, but I'm gonna go clip it not because I don't think he is capable of doing it, not because I think he's over the hump, but because I don't think he has the defensive unit in front of him to allow him to do that.
Which is fair. That's fair.
Yeah. So I'm gonna clip it not based on him. Is it like if he was on Tampa, absolutely. Since he's on Montreal, most likely not.
Yeah.
All right, so there you go. That's sports clips. Keep it or clip it. We'll do that once a week here on Two Guys and a Goalie. One other story that I did want to get to before we wrapped up here, episode 4 of the podcast, and that is the St. Louis Blues, the defending Stanley Cup champions, pulling the trigger to bring in Justin Faulk, sign him up on a long-term deal. It's kind of intriguing because they've got Colton Parayko on the right side. They've got Alex Pietrangelo on the right side. Those two guys are huge parts of that organization. Now they bring in Justin Faulk and commit to him long-term. Cass, let's start with you. What do you think of the defending Stanley Cup champions, not settling and going out and getting a defenseman who's been rumored to be available for like 3.5 years?
I'm totally fine with it. Now, the interesting thing is there enough ice time, or is there something else that they're thinking of doing in the works? Like my brain, and I know a lot of people go here, my brain goes, okay, they did this. They bring in a guy. They have him for a long-term, really good defenseman. You have a lot of assets now on that right side, guys that play the right. You could use a little bit more scoring up front. So my brain goes, with team that has some good forwards up front is all of a sudden lacking in having a top 6 pairing right-handed defenseman.
Colton Parayko.
I mean, but is he a fit or someone that Winnipeg would take a look at and say, we would love to have this, and we got a guy.
Are you just saying a line for Parayko deal?
Am I saying that I'm just
I don't
saying
even hate that. I think that's a good idea.
I look at that and I kind of go, is that something that would happen? Because you're going to have a little bit of a logjam just from a purely like how many minutes these guys are going to want to play, and should they be playing because they're good enough to play that?
Yeah.
So I don't think it's outside the realm of possibilities to look at that and say, is that something that could happen? Yes, I think that that's something that could happen, but I'm happy that St. Louis isn't just sitting back and going, that's enough. They're like, no, we want to go win another one, and we're willing to make big trades and to make splashes and to, sort through what we have to with this, but we're still going after it. And I appreciate that because I like teams that are not willing just to be like, oh, well, we just maybe kind of want to make the playoffs and be okay. It's like, no, I want teams that want to go out and win it, and that's what I see.
Now, if they want to come out and win it again, Binnington's going to have to be sick again like he was. Do you think he's...
Yeah, just don't play him.
Is he like a Matt Murray thing, or is it...
Don't play him till January. That's what you do.
Just set him down, and then bring him back up and
get him all mad.
Thing too.
Get him all mad down there, and then bring him back up.
Hey, quickly on Bill Ranford. Let's wrap up with this. Did you know? Well, here. So I was down in Red Deer for 2 weeks in February doing the Canada games for TSN, and I was bored one day, and like we all have our own things. I like to collect hockey cards once in a while. So I was just like, I wonder if there's any hockey card shops in Red Deer. So I tracked this one down, roll in, and there's pictures of Bill Ranford all over the place. And I'm like, what is going on here with this Bill Ranford obsession? Little old guy comes walking out from back. Nicest dude you're ever going to meet. Probably owned this card store for like 30 years. And I said, hey, what's... He goes, that's my boy. That's my son, Billy. I was just like, what? Bill Ranford's dad owns a hockey card shop in Red Deer, Alberta?
Really?
Yeah, and sure enough, he does. And he's like the nicest guy ever. Side note, so I was just like, well, I'm definitely buying something from this guy now. So, but he doesn't take debit or credit card or anything. So he's like, I only take cash.
No
I was
way.
just like, okay. So he's like, I said, where's the closest ATM? And he goes, oh, it's down 2 blocks in the casino. So I go outside. It's like minus 30 in Red Deer. I'm running down to get this cash. I come back. And I had to go all the way down. I was thinking, like, well, can I bail? And I was like, I can't bail on Billy Ranford's dad now. Like, I'm committed to this.
He'll tell Bill, and he'll be disappointed in you. So
that's the last thing you want. So then I go back and he goes, hey, anytime you want to come by for a coffee, come by. We'll talk hockey. I was like, I fell in love with Billy Ranford's dad in like 20 minutes. But what are the odds that his dad owns a card
I didn't
shop
even know
down
that.
in, yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah, you go in and check it out. There's one picture of you. It's buried in the back on a wall.
Oh, I'm sure. Right behind Billy's.
This is the night Billy took a night off. I
I was going to say, is it the picture with blonde hair? Yeah.
Oh,
yeah, that's right. Yeah, we should definitely get that one up. You know what? That picture needs to go somewhere on the wall here.
We'll get it blown
100% for sure. All right, that's going to do it for another installment here of Two Guys and a Goalie. If you are downloading the podcast and listening to it, give us a good review, because then it'll be easier to find for everybody else, which would be nice. For Joaquin Gage and Matt Kassian and Hernan in the corner, I am Dustin Nielson. Thank you very much for listening. We'll be back on Monday with episode 5.